His name is Rigga, and he's live here in studio with us today. Karibu sana to the show, Rigga.
Thank you so much, Joyce.
Great to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
This is kind of strange for me. You know, I grew up with Rigga.
Yeah.
I never imagined I'd be interviewing you.
But I've always looked forward to being interviewed by
thank
you.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes.
And karibu sana to you. Also, you're going to leave us this jumper you're wearing.
I'm feeling cold. Wow.
Ama utaenda uoshe ututumie basi.
Sawa.
Anyway, it's a bit chilly, but indeed we have lots of music lined up for people here to warm you up. Of course, Sadiq, you've actually played some music there even just before Rigga came in. Who did you have?
The first song I played is by a guy, he just reached out to me kumsupport.
Okay.
Anaitwa San Solo.
Okay.
Song yake inaitwa Power. So aliniambia tu ako na song but hana resources.
Okay.
So nikamsaidia, nikamfacilitate audio na hiyo video.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Solo.
Big up to him. And look forward to more music. And also sending your questions to 111 444 111 here for Rigga if you have any questions for him. But let's dive now into your career and your whole artistry now.
Yeah.
Which you're a rapper.
Yes.
But you also sing.
Yes.
I did a song with him called Nifiche, and I think it was the first time you sang in a very long while. Or
Actually,
something.
that's true. It's one of the first songs that I sang like in a single release.
Well, you did good.
Thank you. I had to because I was with Joyce Omondi Rigga. So yes, lazima.
But you're also, I mean, you're a songwriter, of course.
Yes.
A performing artist, of course. But then recently you actually went into music production as well, and we'll be diving into that. But maybe tell us a bit about what it's like being a Christian rapper. And you have a very distinct sound. I mean, you're I don't know if you call yourself a hip hopper. There's traits of that, certainly.
Yeah.
But how do you describe your sound? It has a lot of like urban, neo, soul vibes to it.
Yeah. So, okay, you've asked two questions there. So my sound is it's a very Mashakura type of sound in terms of there's fusions from all over the place. There's definitely the hip hop influence. There's definitely the singing, the R&B influence. There's definitely praise and worship influence directly from church.
Ni cocktail.
Ni cocktail kabisa. So all of those things are things that I love and things that expressions that I'm passionate about. So I try and fuse all of those things into my sound.
Okay.
Now, about being a Christian, like I'm a follower of Christ first. So everything is filtered through that lens.
Okay.
So everything I do is inspired and directed by God and my relationship with God and the leading of the Holy Spirit. So regardless of whatever space I'm in, it's very interesting that Jesus was in very many different spaces. He was okay being in the temple courts. He was okay being in the marketplace. He was okay eating amongst people where they said he was a drunkard and a glutton. But Jesus himself, his character, his nature, it never changed because he was the epitome of integrity. He is Christ, he is God, and in every space he was unchanging. So the thing that I'm striving to is be the same wherever I am, true to my God and true to my King.
Absolutely, and very important. And I think it's important for every artist, regardless of what genre you're in, to really have that sort of stand, and that people can know who you're representing.
Exactly.
I think that's the whole point of it. But taking you back just a little bit to your first album.
Yes.
It was called The Awakening.
Yes.
Mazee Jamali tuchanganya huko alikuwa ameka. There's a song with French, English and Swahili. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I knew him from church and all the girls would go crazy about it, but
When your boy a blush on TV.
Tell us about your evolution from then, because you have The Awakening.
Yes.
And then after that came Urban Prayers.
Yes.
Which was a slightly different sound, I would say.
Yes, it was.
Much more Afro.
Yeah.
I think.
So it was more experimental, more Afro infused and stuff like that. Yeah.
Tell me about your evolution then as an artist, because The Awakening was in 2007, Urban Prayers in 2012. You also have 2 EP releases, Chumbani EP in 2017 and Undugu in 2018. I mean, so you've been in this game for a minute.
Yeah.
It's been at least 10 years now.
Wow, it's actually been 15 years.
15 years,
15 years, because I started in 2005.
It was 2005.
2005 is when I started, but my album came out in 2007.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been an interesting journey where, I think of those albums, EPs, recording projects as like selfies. Because I don't keep a journal or whatever, so now whenever I listen back to them, I'm like, oh, that's where I was when I was writing that. So like I listen to something like Ring Finger, I'm like, yeah, I can't sing that song now because I have something on my ring finger. I'm a father of a 3-year-old, but it's good to see, okay, that's how far God has brought me from.
Right.
It's funny, Sadiq alicheza nini, sina do, sina ndai, sina chorus. And then I'm like, siku hizi ni hard kuperform hiyo ngoma. Siwezi sema hivyo sahi. Because it's like God answered all of those prayer requests at that time. So
hata chorus umepata.
Hata chorus nimepata. So yeah, it's very interesting. I write from a very personal place.
Yeah.
So it's like where I am with God at that time.
Yeah. Amazing. And later on, he's going to be performing for us his latest single, Vile Vile. But also, you guys let me know if you want us to perform our song together. And if we we never actually get to perform together.
Actually, it's true.
Oh my God, my crew is screaming in my ear, yes. Okay, you can look forward to that coming up after the break, but we're also very curious to learn about your journey as a producer now.
Yes.
I don't know if I have time to go into this just yet, so let's do this. Let's take a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll explore his journey now as a producer.
Yeah.
You've taken the next step. Very curious to see how that journey has been.
Yeah.
And of course, you can look forward to some more music here by Rigga and of course DJ Sadiq here on the decks.
Kabisa.
Sounds good?
Kabisa.
All right, guys, we'll see you after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Here with DJ Sadiq, and my name of course is Joyce Omondi, and here with Rigga, and we're going through his music, chatting a bit about his journey. He's told us about how he started off 15 years ago. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. 15 years ago, in 2005 as an artist. And since then, he's actually made quite a number of transitions. Probably the biggest one, you got married,
Yes.
you're a father.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest transitions then also has been becoming a producer.
Yes.
Tell me what inspired that. Was that, because I never
Yeah.
imagined that to have been your goal. I guess I just never saw it coming. What sort of led to it?
I didn't see it coming either. It was actually born of frustration, because I realized I spent a lot of time when I go to the studio explaining what I have in my head. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, it's not working. So what I started with was with my iPad, and I used to make like demos of like, this is what I'm thinking. So I'd go and present and be like, okay, now let's make the real track. So as I started as a producer, the goal was for me to be good enough to make demos so that the real producer can actually make the music.
Okay.
And then it just kind of snowballed from there. Like, okay, guys were like, no, what you're actually making is legit, it's good. So with a little bit of inspiration and a lot of YouTube videos.
I'm telling you people, YouTube University.
Yes.
People need to get this.
Yes.
YouTube University. It's free, except for your bundles.
Yeah.
But there's so much to learn out there.
Yeah.
And look at you, you've basically created a production house. Because I was going to ask you,
Exactly.
did you then go and get like formally trained on music production?
No, everything was YouTube tutorials. Everything was just hours of learning how to do this and that.
Right.
And I'm actually interested in audio and sound and the music making process.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, that started in 2016. And yeah, today I actually have a fully fledged registered production house called Chumbani.
Wow, congratulations
Yeah.
to you on that. And I think many people would sort of relate, you know, they've been watching their YouTube
Yeah.
tutorials and whatnot, but then now it comes to the point, Sawa, you've learned.
Yes.
but now it's time, like, you have to ingia mfuko, utoe shilingi,
Yes.
to now drop the investment.
Yeah.
Take me back to that moment, and how was that for you? Did you have any sort of doubts? Were you nervous? I mean, people don't know you as a producer.
Yeah.
Were you scared about, like, would I get clients?
Yes.
How do I begin?
In
You're
fact,
investing in equipment.
it's funny you say that, because there are lots of people well-meaning people, very invested in my journey, who are like, Rigga, this isn't the direction you should take. So, and they were basically trying to protect me from any sort of failure that they foresaw. They were like, no, because I was like, okay, fine. If I'm gonna do this thing, let me guinea pig on myself.
Okay.
So the first EP I did was a test on myself.
Chumbani, which
Chumbani.
the record label is now, or your production house is named after.
Yes, and in fact, I'm not the one who named it. It's other guys who are like, oh, because the record was called Chumbani, let's just call the thing Chumbani.
Right.
So that's what it became.
Okay.
And in terms of the investment that I was making in terms of cash, I'm a firm believer in start with what you have.
Right.
Don't go out and buy like lots of equipment to start with, or break the bank or clear your account to start something new.
Yeah.
I always love the interaction that God had with Moses, and he was like, okay, so what do you have in your hand? It's like, I have a staff, and it's like, yes, let's start with that.
Yeah.
Jesus asked, like, okay, let's feed these multitudes. It's like, what do we have? We have 5 fish and 5 loaves and 2 fish. So yeah, I started with what I had, and from there it grew organically.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've produced your own EP from this production house, and you are working with other artists as well.
Yes,
Tell me
I
a bit
am.
about who you've produced for now.
So after that, I did a project with Noel Nderitu, which was a joint EP called Undugu.
Okay.
Yeah, that's available everywhere. Make sure you get that or get a chance to listen to that. I've worked with Nasara most recently. Did an entire hip hop EP for him. His single From Fresh is out. Worked with Lisa Oduor Noah, and yeah, working with Webby. And there are a bunch of other artists who are in the pipeline as well.
Yeah.
Like when I look at my hard drive and I'm like, all the names of the different folders, I'm like, wow, like all these people actually trust me to make their music. I'm blown away. Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, so you're doing production, but you've not forgotten yourself as an artist.
Yes.
And you've just released a new song. It's
Yes.
called Vile Vile.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So Vile Vile it's one of those things where whenever you have a deep encounter with God, you can't be left the same. And like when I think about this year, there are certain things that there's a certain way that God revealed himself to me this year that I was like, yeah, I've been in a relationship with you. I'm like, okay, but now this is a change of the season. It's a change of like we've turned the page.
Yeah.
So something has to change in me now that you've revealed yourself to me in a different way. So that's what the song is about.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, someone here is saying, hey Joyce, Rigga and DJ Sadiq, it's a great Friday, enjoying the show. Kindly play the song you did together with Rigga, we shall enjoy. Oh dear. Okay, asante sana, that's Lois from Taveta. Joy from Kapsabet is watching. You're requesting Nakutegemea by Rabiken. Felistus, you're tuned in from Machakos, loving the show. You say, please play for me Uniongoze by Lilian Mutuku and Nakubaliana by Gloria Muliro. Joyce, it's Sheila watching the show from Kikuyu. Please play for me Shukrani by Dar Mjomba and Alice Kamande. Mwingine anataka tu any Afro hits. Kwanza the song by Gracie.
What? Sawa.
But you know what? I think before we even jump back into some more mixes, I think it's high time we hear this song Vile Vile right here on Full Circle with Joyce. So Rigga, here's my circle.
Okay.
Please do take it away for us.
Right.
From the moment I met you, I could never be the same.